And now it is time for high school lifestyles of the rich and famous. Today we will be exploring the prestigious school of Ouran Academy and the students that attend there. Only those with excellent social standing and those from the richest families of Japan are lucky enough to attend this elite private school. Here we will discover a group of boys with way too much time on their hands who entertain ladies who also have way too much time on their hands. Okay, I won't be imitating Robin Leach the whole time, but in case you didn't figure it out by now, this is Ouran High School Host Club.
Kiss, kiss for love.
Ouran High School Host Club is an ongoing manga series by Bisco Hattori that was serialized in Hakusensha's La La magazine since 2003. The story follows a girl named Haruhi Fujioka who is admitted into the school via a scholarship program, as well as the lives of the other members of the popular host club. So let's dive right in, shall we? So our story begins with Haruhi walking around exploring Ouran Academy, an extremely prestigious school. I mean, it's the kind of school where Bill Gates' kids and the Obama girls would go to. It is that prestigious. While Haruhi walks around school looking for a quiet place to study, she walks into the third music room where the Ouran Academy Host Club gather to entertain their guests. During their first encounter, Haruhi accidentally knocks over a very expensive vase. You know, I really wonder how much that vase was worth.
Which means that it's time to play The Price is Right!
Hey, I swear. All right. Rich. Yes, sir. What's our first item up for bid today on The Price is Right?
An expensive vase passed down for generations from a wealthy family. How much do you think it is worth?
Let's see, judging by the look of the vase, the design, I'm guessing around $8,000. Okay, how much was it really worth?
Oh, now you've done it, Commoner. The bidding on that vase was supposed to start at 8 million yen.
What? 8 million yen?
Oh, too bad. Better luck next time.
So she is told that she would have to repay the cost of the vase in service of the club. However, Haruhi's short hair, slouching attire, and gender-ambiguous look causes her to be mistaken by the hosts for a male student. Thus, the hosts all agree that Haruhi would make a good addition. So, what exactly is a host club? Host or hostess clubs are a common feature in the nighttime entertainment industry of Japan that cater to males or females seeking drink and attentive conversation from the opposite sex. Host and hostesses light cigarettes, pour drinks, offer flirtatious conversation, and sing karaoke in an effort to keep their customers entertained. Not too much like a modern-day geisha. However, the clubs are distinguished from strip clubs in that there is no dancing or nudity. So, where were we? So she's taken by the host club, and one extreme makeover later, she's finally dressed like an ideal male student at the school. She is then told that if she can get 100 customers, her debt will be forgiven. So she then finds out that her bag is thrown into the school fountain, in which Tamaki helps her gather her things. She then goes to change into dry clothes when...
Here you go. I brought you some towels. Haruhi,
Yeah?
so you're a girl?
Biologically speaking, yeah.
Whoa, transvestite, back off.
How exactly did this happen?
The day before school started, one of the kids in my neighborhood got some gum in my hair. It's a real pain to get gum out of long hair, so I decided to cut it all off.
Oh. Okay then. Makes sense to me. So Haruhi has to pose as a boy in the host club in order to pay off the debt, in which the other boys try to keep her true gender a secret. So let's talk more about the show's characters. Haruhi is an intelligent first-year student who is able to attend the prestigious school through a scholarship program. Though she initially dislikes the idea of being a host, she soon realizes that acting as a host and talking to the other girls comes quite naturally, and she begins to enjoy it. She lives with her rather eccentric father as a result of her mother passing away when she was young. Thus, she is very independent and never lets anyone worry about her. Due to her straightforward personality, she is often confused about the behavior of the other host, especially Tamaki's. Then there's Tamaki. Now this guy I like, as well as hate him. He's rather flamboyant and narcissistic, which makes him look rather selfish and annoying.
Why do you think they put works of art in museums? Because beauty should be shared with the world. And those born beautiful should promote
There's a
other
word to
beautiful things.
describe
That's why I
people
started
like
this
him.
club in the
Jerk.
first place. I did it for those who are starved for beauty.
What is
for
it?
those working
Pompous airhead.
day and night pursuing beauty. And although your looks may be
man.
average and
I
you
wish I
know
could
your
remember that
characteristics,
Stubborn smartass.
There's something that fits him perfectly.
But above all else, Haruhi, you must remember how effective a glance to the side can be.
Huh, I got it.
Miserable piece of shit!
I'm sorry, Tamaki-senpai.
Although deep inside he is a very kind and caring person. He is the host club's president and organizes all of the club's activities, as well as being extremely dedicated to his duties as a host. He prefers classical music and is able to play the piano exceedingly well. He also seems to have a crush on Haruhi and always plans some ridiculous schemes in order to be next to her. Tamaki is also a rather princely figure who often uses his charm and good looks to impress the girls at the school. To him, all girls are pretty, and the happiness of his guests is his greatest enjoyment. Oh, and really quickly, I would like to give a shout out to Vic. Hey Vic, I hope you're enjoying this review! Next, there's Kyoya Otori. He is Tamaki's best friend and second in command of the club. Kyoya is secretive and intelligent, being able to calculate any benefits that would come out of the host club's misadventures. Thus, he is mostly in charge of the club's expenses. Although he comes off as cold and uncaring, there have been instances in both the anime and manga where he shows concern for the others' well-being. He doesn't put on much of an act for women like the others do, but many girls think he's cool nonetheless. Hikaru and Kaoru Hitachin are mischievous twin brothers who often like to toy with other people. One of their games is a Who is Who type of betting game in which they challenge a person to correctly guess the twins' names, in which Haruhi was the only person to guess correctly. Another trick the twins like to play is the Gay Brothers card, in which they use to draw in their clients. Kind of a really strange way of attracting women, if you ask me. Thus, they are often mistaken as homosexuals due to the nature of their act, and it is pretty difficult to tell if they really are gay or not early on in the series. However, despite the way they do act, they dislike being labeled as such.
You boys are the homosexual supporting cast.
You jerks! You said there was no way the girls would be able to tell it was me!
It's payback for calling us the homosexual supporting cast.
This becomes more evident later on as they both develop a romantic attraction towards Haruhi. Nonetheless, Hikaru and Kaoru do share a deep emotional bond, which was forged through a lonely childhood and through the fact that no one could tell them apart without looking at the parting of their hair. Haruhi has stated that Hikaru and Kaoru do have their differences despite being identical twins. of the two, Kaoru is nicer, more mature, and considerate of others. Mitsukuni Hani Nozuka is an 18-year-old boy in the body of a child. I wonder if he took the same poison that was forced onto Shinichi Kudo in Detective Conan. He tries to attract his customers with his lolly Shotokan cuteness. Honey is obsessed with sweets and anything cute and carries a plush bunny called Usa-chan. Despite his childish looks, he is deceptively strong and highly skilled in martial arts, and comes from a family widely known for their martial arts abilities. If he's upset, worried, or uneasy about something, he goes to Takashi to rely on, his cousin due to marriage. Takeshi Morinozuka is a tall, quiet, and somewhat intimidating boy who is very protective of Honey. The Morinozuka family had protected and served the Haninozuka family for many generations. As the two families were joined by marriage 2 generations back, the families became related to each other, thus breaking the master-servant tradition. However, Takeshi still faithfully protects Honey and is always by his side, attending to his wishes and watching out for him. Then there's Renge Hoshakuji, who is the host club's self-proclaimed manager, and I find this character to be extremely irritating. Seriously, lay off the helium, lady! She's extremely loud and obnoxious, even more so than Tamaki, and is one of those annoying character types that just simply pops out of nowhere during the most inopportune times. She arrives at Ouran in order to be with Kyoya, who she mistakes as her favorite character from a dating sim game. So you're telling me that this chick has absolutely no grasp on reality either? Tamaki initially allowed Renge to become the host club's manager in hopes that she would be a female friend to Haruhi and inspire her to act and dress more feminine. He was harshly disappointed when Renge wound up developing a crush on Haruhi, believing that she was a boy. She is almost always seen entering using a rising platform which apparently opens from an unseen hatch in the floor, which is powered by a high-powered motor even when off campus. There are also a ton of other supporting characters in this show, and like almost always, we won't have enough time to cover them all. So, I guess it's about time that I give my final thoughts on the show. There's no sex, and most of the nudity in this show is the guys with their shirts off, so I'll give this 0 stars. But what this show lacks in sex and nudity, it more than makes up for with its crude humor and subject matter. So get ready for gay and gender bender jokes up the huzzah! Okay, that kind of humor is occasionally used, but there's still enough crude humor to garner 3 stars out of 5. The language in this show stays mostly mild to an extent, but let's not forget such vocabulary such as homosexual, transvestite, bisexual, and other mild sexual lingo that is occasionally used. So I'll give this 3 stars out of 5 as well. Violence, like in most comedy shows like this, stay within the realm of slapstick, so I'll give this 1 out of 5 stars. So, let's see how well it performs. After seeing countless numbers of one guy, multiple girls harem comedies in anime, I would say it is a nice breath of fresh air to see a show full of guys from a girl's point of view. It's also a great example of mixing together the many aspects of shoujo anime. Another thing I like about this show is the humorous takes on the many levels of social class, like for instance how the students at the school respond to instant coffee, or how to fathom Haruhi's dad's bizarre behavior.
Whoa, transvestite, back off!
Not that I have a problem with homosexuals. Well, okay, there are a couple. One is the strange behaviors that they take part in. And if you want any examples, all you have to do is Google Mardi Gras. And second, I just really hate it when they push their opinions on others. For instance, this whole debacle on gay marriage in California, that thing is never going to end. Now, where was I? I also like the way that the show follows the manga. It looks like the producers took a lot of time to make sure they follow the manga very closely. There are a few episodes, however, that miss the mark, and some of the jokes in the show get old rather quickly. The St. Lobelia Academy Zuka Club, for instance, made it tempting to have a full frontal lobotomy after watching the episodes that had them. However, the show was funny and tries to stay fresh and interesting. Unfortunately, like School Rumble, the characters seem to develop over the course of the show. However, in the end, there is no true resolution to the story. That said, I'll give the story 3 out of 5 stars. The music fits the series quite well. Since the story takes place in a prestigious high school, the show utilizes quite a bit of classical music. The opening and ending theme, however, seem to be ripped straight out of an Avril Lavigne album. Seriously, you don't see me taking other people's work and passing it as mine. I use clips and music from other media, sure. But that's my style. You don't see me taking word for word, copying the other styles from other video reviewers after all, do you? Well, anyway, the music is still pretty good, but I don't think it's the kind that you would play over and over on your iPod. So, I'll give soundtrack a 3 out of 5. As the animation goes, leave it to Studio Bones to amaze you. Fresh off from their other hit shows like Full Metal Alchemist and Eureka 7, this certainly is no exception. The animation is smooth and detailed as well as very vibrant and colorful. 5 out of 5. I love the characters in this show and the many personalities they represent. Each character is equally fleshed out and explored with more than one episode devoted exclusively for each character. Each character has something to love and hate about them. But remember back in my Kaleidostar review what I said about the characters? This is a prime example as the development of Haruhi's personality is often thrown on the back burner in favor of the other characters in the show. But other than that, I will give characters a 5 out of 5. Overall, this show is pretty funny and enjoyable. A lot of male viewers may pass it off as being too girly, but it is still very likable. Although it still had a few problems, it was still a fun ride and definitely worth taking a look. That is why I give Ouran High School Host Club 4 style points and an overall rating of 7 out of 10. This is the American Anime Otaku, signing out.